Oi gente, eu sou o Joe de Lima, bem-vindos ao meu canal para o terceiro episódio de Vampyr. Ou Vampyr, ou Vampire, nem nos Estados Unidos o pessoal entra no acordo. Enfim. No episódio anterior, né, nós descobrimos o nome do nosso vampiro, Jonathan Reid. Ele é médico de renome. Desculpa, gente, minha garganta tá bem ruim hoje. Médico de renome e ele está à caça de um vampiro que o transformou, né? Encontrou com um vampiro menor, uma espécie de... e cortou algum sangue dele. Que vai investigar no seu novo emprego no hospital Pembroke. Desculpa. Desculpa, gente. Enquanto o jogo vai carregando aí, vou lembrar a galera, pedir a galera para não esquecer de deixar o like, curtir, compartilhar, se inscrever no canal. Lembrando que na descrição deste vídeo aqui tem um link para baixar gratuitamente uma cópia digital do meu livro Arcanista. E lá na Amazon, pesquisando por Joe de Lima, você vê todos os meus livros. No episódio de ontem, eu ainda não estou totalmente familiarizado, acostumado, né, com o estilo desse jogo. Eu acho que eu não fui bem na segunda metade dos diálogos. Hoje eu vou tentar manter a coisa um pouquinho mais dinâmica. Tem muitas conversas. E caramba, onde é que salvou o jogo? Ih, rapaz, onde é que salvou o jogo? Salvou alguma conversa que eu tive aqui? Agora fiquei preocupado. Salvou alguma conversa que eu tive aqui no hospital?
Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Não, acho que... acho que a gente já passou por isso, né? Já estão apagadas as opções. Posso tentar fazer ele descansar de novo?
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
Repetindo a mesma linha de diálogo
She should
que eu
not have
fiz.
told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's
Repetindo a
opinion
conversa que a
is the
gente teve
only
com
one I
ela.
may listen to.
Com ele, quer dizer. Beleza, então isso é um bom
Goodbye,
sinal de
Dr.
que o
Tibbets.
diálogo ficou salvo. Eu vou voltar até onde eu estava então ontem. Por isso que eu tenho a chance de abrir diálogos novos, né? Chegando aqui ontem eu vim... tem uma paciente aqui que eu não tinha visto. O que é isso aqui? Evite tossir em público. Oi.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital.
Essa paciente
Your
andando
name
aí.
has no meaning to me, mortal.
Mortal?
Nothing
Hã?
but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal?
É
My
uma
clemency.
vampira ou
Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined
só
to mercy.
alguém
You'll never
perturbado?
forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Será verdade ou será que é só Será que é verdade ou será que ela só tá perturbada?
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Tô achando que ela não é vampira não, hein?
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul. Or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Ok. Hã? Algo errado. Uma nova investigação de cidadão está disponível. Ah, tá. Esse é o nome da missão. Ah, tá. Entendi. Investigação de cidadãos. Aqui aparecem investigações de acordo com o distrito. Para iniciar, rastrear uma nova missão de cidadão, use o quadrado e depois acesse o seu mapa. Certo. Não tô vendo essa possibilidade aí. Estado de saúde. É considerado saudável. Onde tá essas investigações? Ah tá, isso aqui é a investigação, né? Esse menu aqui. Ah, aqui está. Descubra quem está espionando o Thelma. Aham. Vamos ver se eu marcar essa missão. Tem algumas perguntas que eu posso fazer?
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
Oh, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Ah, a missão tá perto daqui, inclusive. No andar de cima, talvez. Tem a seta apontando pra cima ali, né, no ícone. Deixa eu abrir aqui de novo pra ver o mapa. É aqui no hospital mesmo. Mas talvez seja no andar de... Ai, ai. Talvez seja no andar de cima. Eu passei por aqui, né? Conversei com esse pessoal aqui dentro. Pai, como é grande esse hospital, hein? Quanta gente. Quantos personagens querendo conversar. Aqui a gente saiu do hospital. Por enquanto eu não vou sair não, vou ficar aqui dentro. Olha, ele tem reflexo, hein, o Jonathan. Apesar dele ser um vampiro, ele tem reflexo. Esse aqui... Não, esse aqui tá só acamado mesmo. Rapaz, a coisa tá feia, em camas pelos corredores, barracas.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Acho que a gente conversou ontem já, né? Sim.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Vamos ver o que mais temos por aqui. Outra ala. Ai, ai. E você?
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Ixi,
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off.
Caramba.
But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
Yeah.
It's the pain, sir.
The
The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and
Ninguém?
tired doctor spoke to
tá,
me.
doutor velho.
Started to think I was forgotten
Doutor
about.
idoso.
Won't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've
Caramba.
learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills.
Vê se achar algum remédio, né? Entregar pra
Told
ele.
you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Caramba.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really
Jonathan
don't want to
também esteve
talk
na
about
guerra,
all
né?
this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that
Tem
she
alguma
thinks
pista
she is
sobre
a
ela?
vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty.
Ela tá mordendo ele?
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless.
Hawcroft
I can
mordeu
assure
ele?
you. Her head's broken
Até uma.
inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
E olha só. Então ele tem uma quedinha pela Thelma.
So
Ele
do
tem
you let
crush
her
na
bite
Thelma.
you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world.
Aí, olha
It
aí.
seems much more fun than the real one.
Tudo isso aqui já foi.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Descobrimos que ele tem um crush na Thelma. Olha aqui, esse é o padre, né?
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief.
Já tá melhor,
now
já,
all I need to
jeito.
do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
O William. William lembra, vocês vão se lembrar, né? Foi o vampiro que a gente derrotou, que o John derrotou ontem.
William was an
colocou uma amostra de
His
sangue
addiction
dele
suddenly
também, né?
changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here, this Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Beleza. Tom Watts tem alguma
Do you
informação
know
sobre
Tom
Tom?
Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice.
Aqui tá no auge da gripe espanhola, da epidemia da gripe espanhola, né? A pandemia, aliás, da gripe espanhola.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union.
Ih, rapaz.
The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina
who
who runs
Clay
the show,
Cox.
with the assistance of her minion, Booth
Ele é
Digby.
ligado à gangue.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Tem alguma pergunta pessoal liberada aí?
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
Mas ele não se
You're in good
transformou em
hands
vampiro?
here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Ué, tá meio óbvio que ele é padre,
What do
né?
you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good
Então não é
word.
sacerdote.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token.
Ah,
That's what you
o
were trying to
Swansea
say.
tem uma que é, né? O Swansea tem uma cruz que é mágica, sim.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
Acho que eu não
You
conhecia
never
ela
came
ainda.
to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Ok. Acho que terminamos.
Goodbye,
aqui.
Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later. It's locked.
Essa ala aqui é menor, né? Cadê a Thelma? Deixa eu conversar com ela de novo.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich,
Vê se tem alguma
vibrant
pergunta,
blood.
tem alguma pergunta sobre o outro paciente. Ah.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Ok.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Que mais tem mais alguma ala pra cá? Uma sala, tem alguém aqui? Eu dei uma saída, né? O que é isso? Ah, tá. É, ali a porta pra rua. Ih, rapaz. Bastante coisa aqui pra cima ainda, hein? Porta trancada. Dr. Swansea, ainda não quero falar com ele, não. Vou ver se tem disco. Opa, o que é isso aqui? Tem alguém desconhecido lá embaixo? Depois a gente vê isso. Tô procurando a missão da Thelma agora. Nossa. Dr. Reid. Ah. Ali é o escritório, pera aí. Pensei que essa era a missão que estava marcada no meu... Tava em destaque aqui na bússola. Era a missão da Thelma. Fim da linha pra mim aqui. Descubra quem está espionando Thelma. Mas simples assim, não dando nenhuma indicação de pra onde ir. Se for nessa direção aqui, eu vou achar alguém?
Not now.
Aguenta firme. Ficou gente faltando aqui ainda pra conversar? Faltando gente aqui embaixo. Thelma. Thomas. É. Eu não sei até onde vai o alcance, né, dessa visão especial do... Essa visão especial, não sei se tá dentro do... Ah, tá dentro do hospital, então vamos falar. Ou não. Eu esteja numa área que eu não posso acessar. Simplesmente eu não... Acho que eu já vi tudo que eu tinha pra ver aqui, né? Oi, tem uma porta aqui. Ah, eu não sabia disso.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Beatrice Goswick.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Ih, já vi que é outra aqui.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Tá bom. Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here
nesse hospital
are of a
aqui,
more
tá todo
humble
mundo,
origin, if I may say so.
miserável aqui.
Thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
Fala o que
the
exatamente
ambulance driver was
aconteceu.
quite rude, for a start.
Motorista.
And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Deixa eu falar com o rapaz aqui. Se ela sair da frente, eu falo com o rapaz aqui.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But in the
Good evening.
circumstances,
I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Ele tá bem cansado. Curar com um tratamento para fadiga. Eu preciso fazer um desses, então dá pra ele.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Ok.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor.
Ih,
But you
rapaz.
have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured, you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Okay.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
Good evening, sir. Doctor. Anything for a man?
Essa aqui que é a Pipa? Não, essa é a outra, né? Como é que é o nome dela? Dorothy, é.
I will not let you down, my boy.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
I'm all right.
É.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
I'm so tired. My sweet girl. Will this shift never end? Reads me like a book.
Esse deitado aqui, é.
Anything from her.
É, aqui pro fundo a gente já vê, né? Não tem nada. Vou procurar a Pipa agora e pedir explicações pra ela aí. Cadê ela? Tá me incomodando esse outro. Que é o motorista da ambulância.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war.
É, percebeu que o Jonathan tá armado.
Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Opa, aí vende arma. Rapaz, aí vende armas.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know, and by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Okay.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
A maioria dos tempos.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here.
Alguém
I escaped from the
nós.
hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
Oh.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Se é alguma missão, é sim.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Tudo aqui precisa de pistas.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Eu precisando de munição. Munição seria uma boa. Bala padrão. Quanto que eu tenho? Só 28. Tem... armas não, só balas. Revólveres, armas semiautomáticas e parabellum. Vou comprar algumas, se isso é uma boa. Só duas? Nossa! Tá bom. Eu só tinha duas com ele. Falar sério. Pó de alumínio. Pode ser usado em soldagem. Isso pode ser interessante. Essas coisas podem ser usadas para fazer crafting, né? Provavelmente. Provavelmente essas coisas vão ser usadas para fazer crafting de alguma coisa. O outro desconhecido sumiu.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Deveria alguma pergunta?
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Tá bom, será que tem alguma coisa aí também rolando?
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Quem sabe se achar um remédio lá pro Coswick lá. Frasco de vidro. Mortimer Goswick, tem uma cabeça, né, marcada ali, alguma missão. Talvez esteja pra eu cumprir depois, né, eu nem terminei. Só cheguei no hospital, eu tô querendo cumprir missões aí. O problema é que eu chego aqui, né, a porta tá... Não pode ser, não consigo interagir. Tomara que isso não seja outro bug. Vamos torcer pra que não seja outro bug no jogo. Acho que agora vamos né, pra sala do... Álcool? Nossa, beleza, bebida. O que é isso aqui? Serra. Prontuário do Elwood. Ah, paciente Thomas Elwood. A data de liberação a ser definida. O rosto do paciente sofreu queimaduras e foi desfigurado. Ele afirma frequentemente sentir dor das feridas. Cicatrizes tão limpas seria o caso de dano persistente aos nervos. O paciente está sempre se culpando pela própria desfiguração. Ah, uma nova informação sobre o Thomas. Os outros médicos. Ah, aqui eu já olhei, né? Então vamos entrar no escritório do Jonathan.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Peguei mais pó de alumínio, um dinheirinho. faço agora? Ah, sim, trabalhar na bancada aqui para examinar a amostra de sangue.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Frasco de vidro. Eu tenho frasco de vidro. Artigo sobre ícons. Velocidade sobrenatural. Vampiros podem agir e movimentar como um corpo mortal em suas ações. Mesmerização. Vampiro pode usar a capacidade de forçar um mortal a obedecê-lo. Consciência sobre o sangue. Tem frascos de vidro, né? É só encher na pia aqui e derramar água em cima da flor. Quem falou isso? Tem uma porta aqui. Talvez a gente consiga trabalhar, evoluir o hospital, né? Com o tempo. Ufa, vamos lá. Eu fiz um soro. Eu descobri um soro, mas eu não tenho os itens que eu preciso pra fazer. Tratamento para sepse. Tratamento para anemia. Tratamento para fadiga. Preciso de mais itens.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night.
Acho que por enquanto a gente pode
I have so
descansar.
much time now.
Ufa, pra encerrar a noite aqui. Tá, deixa eu ver. Eu tenho 4 pontos ou alguma coisa assim. Mordida forte, aumentar a força da mordida. Ah, tá, vou gastar o XP, ou é isso? Mordida só aumenta sua regeneração de vida ao usar a mordida em combate. Condição corporal aumenta sua vida. Ah, isso eu quero. Eu gastei o XP, eu gasto os próprios pontos de experiência para comprar novas skills, né? Coagulação, barreira de sangue agressivas, que eu já tenho garras. Tá, o poder das garras. Rapaz, custa bastante, bem caro, hein? Boa forma, aumenta o seu vigor. Capacidade de sangue, ah, isso é bom também. Grande sede, aumenta a absorção de sangue ao usar mordida em combate. Caramba, o que eu pego agora? Bolsa de munição, ah, bolsa médica. Nossa, tudo parece muito... Quero tudo aqui. Eu quero todas essas coisas aí. Drena seu vigor para desaparecer nas sombras e ficar invisível para a maioria dos inimigos. Eu quero tudo essas coisas aí. Aumentar meu poder de ataque também, né? Mas isso pelo jeito não vai rolar. Lança de sangue, névoa sombria. Lance uma névoa aos seus pés ou aos inimigos. Após um movimento, a nuvem explode e causa muito dano. É um golpe bem poderoso, isso parece, sim. Tem um custo alto também. minha vida. Ah, requer nível 6. Ah, tá. Pronto, já foi tudo agora. Não, não é pra... Não, calma. Tem que confirmar a saída. Beleza. Na noite seguinte...
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Ajude o hospital Pembroke com os pacientes, é. Se vai dormir, encerra a noite, né? Toda vez que ele vai dormir. Hã?
Dr. Swansea asked me to collect you, Dr. Reed. Hurry up!
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly,
exatamente,
certain
fazer
household
crafting,
chemical
né,
products can be used in a pinch
que
instead.
precisa aqui no hospital.
Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital.
Ah, tá.
You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way, then. Thank you, nurse.
Como é que eu vou conseguir cumprir essas outras missões paralelas aí?
It's locked.
Comerciante é o Milton. Onde estão essas? Ah, as investigações estão aqui, né? Entre no jardim do quintal. Ingredientes em falta, vá até a farmácia. Ah, tá. Entendi. Mais ou menos.